Good afternoon and welcome everybody. This is Laura Greer with T-Call and I'm going to be hosting today's PD Coordinators webinar. I also have Olga Demina, who is going to be helping out on the back end, making sure that names get updated and providing some tech help if necessary. So we have a lot of slides today. Let's go ahead and get started. Maybe. There we go. All right. So we're going to cover some updates from the PD centers today, our new training, conferences, and statewide events. We will check out what's coming up with our monthly webinar series. Test training announcements will be shared today. PD portal announcements will be shared today. Teams announcements as well. And we'll wrap things up this afternoon with our PD coordinator time. So to get us started, we are going to have Joan from the Career Pathways Professional Development Center get going. Joan?
Hello, everyone. So I have 2 slides today. And first up, I wanted to talk to y'all about our upcoming webinar series over internationally trained professionals. This is a 7-part series that the Career Pathways PDC and Synergy Texas are hosting, and all of our sessions are on Thursdays during your lunch hour. So this coming week, we have Best Practices for ITP Intake Protocols Part 2, and that will be next Thursday, September 15th. Carrie Rhodes with Restore Education is going to answer the question of, now that ITPs have been recruited and identified, what happens? We will review the case management model of service, which focuses on an individualized plan to meet each student's needs. And critical to this process is the intake interview. And this session will detail what questions you should be asking and also offer templates for you to use. And I've also got the next webinar in that series, Contextualized Academic and Technical Language Development, coming up in October. And all of these webinars are available in the PD portal. So go ahead and register today if you haven't already. And then we can go to the next slide. Perfect. And this is a really exciting slide for us. We are partnering up with the awesome team over at T-Call to bring you a Texas-style internationally trained professionals training of trainers series. So Texas-style ITP TOT. And this is by application only. And the application will be sent out via listserv very, very soon. So be sure to keep an eye out on your emails. Please note that applicants will be asked to record and submit a 2-minute video demonstrating their engaging and dynamic training skills. And the deadline to apply for this TOT series will be September 16th. So it is coming up soon. And this trainer of trainings is for persons interested in facilitating the Texas-style internationally trained professionals module at local adult education and literacy programs in Texas as a contract consultant for Train PD. And this is a mandatory event that will span 5 weeks if your application is accepted. And I have the session dates and times listed on this slide for you guys to kind of block out your calendar if you're interested. It is all Fridays in the afternoon, starting the first week of October. And yeah, keep an eye out for the application. Tracy, if there's anything I missed, please let me know.
No, great job, Joan. Thank you. And yes, I hope to send it out via listserv in the morning. That's my goal. So keep an eye on your emails if you're interested in that. Joan, great job.
Thank you.
Yes, Joan, thank you so much. Next, we will be talking about the DEPDC with Michelle.
Hi, everyone. So we are really pleased to announce that the Distance Learning Academy Module 1 is ready again to go face-to-face after a hiatus since the pandemic started. This is a 6-hour face-to-face workshop that can be held like a 3-hour session in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon, or 3 hours one day and 3 hours the next day. We are going to be doing this at College of the Mainland coming up, I think, next month. And if anybody else wants to request this, they can reach out to their PD specialist about that. We're also going to be having a TOT on this in the future, just to put that little nugget out there, but we're not ready to announce that quite yet. All right, you can go on to the next slide. We also, you may have already heard about this from Mahalya's announcements or from your program coordinator, program directors, but we have purchased North Star Online Learning and Computer Essentials by Essential Education for every program in the state. That is a huge deal. So these are 2 digital literacy curricula that are available as distance learning. And every program in the state is getting it. So there has been a survey that's gone out. Your program directors have filled out the survey and said, we want this one, we want that one, or we want both. You can take both if you want. And we'll be rolling those out over the next month or 2. And this is a great opportunity to increase the digital skills of your students. These seats are free. Once again, they don't cost anything and they're transferable. So if you run a cohort of students through Computer Essentials over a 2-month period, then you can transfer the seats to another cohort and really keep building the digital skills of your students across your program. The big thing we want you to know as PD coordinators is that there is a lot of professional development that will come with this. So starting next month in October, we will be rolling out the first PD sessions to learn how to use North Star Online Learning, how to manage those accounts and get students set up on them, things like that. We'll be announcing those dates very soon, probably before the next PD coordinators meeting. So be looking for that in your email. Next slide. So just as a reminder, we have a call center, and that call center is here for all your instructors and all your students to provide technical assistance to your students and your instructors as needed. We're open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And as you get new students going in a new program year, they may need some technical assistance. I have an example. This morning, a class started in one program, and the teacher of that class had created passwords for her Zoom account without thinking about that their students might not check their emails and see those passwords. So we had a flurry of calls this morning, all from the same teacher's class saying, my teacher sent me my Zoom link, but not how to actually get on. And it was because later she had gone back in and added a password. We were able to figure out what program, what teacher, get in touch with someone at that program, get the passwords to the students and get those students into their class this morning. And we want to do that for your programs as well. I see that there are some questions coming through. Let me just finish the next 2 slides, and then I'll pause for questions. Go ahead to the next slide. So you can consider including call center information in your student orientation on any LMS you use, like Canvas or Google Classroom or Schoology, on your syllabi as you give out syllabi, which are required, so you should be giving them out. Put the call center phone number and website on there, on your social media accounts for your programs, on your program's website, in your email signature, and maybe even a slide at the beginning of any of your lessons that your teachers teach. That way, the students always know how they can reach us. Next slide. All right, here's how you get in touch with us. You've got our phone number at the top. You've got our our website address, and students and instructors can reach us by phone, email, chat, Zoom, or callback options all through that website. We also have some new promotional items like some two-sided bilingual bookmarks with our website and phone number information. You'll be getting those at Fall Institute in your bags, but we can also mail those out to you. So if you'd like some of those materials, I'll be dropping a Google form into the chat after I finish talking so that you can use that to request materials be mailed to your program. And I think there's one more slide. These are the things we can help you with: remote, orientations or classes like we did this morning, students who are working at home on their distance learning, any kind of questions about distance learning curriculum. Even if your program is trying to decide about which one to buy, they can call us and get some ideas about what each curriculum has to offer, and any other tech support needs. All right, I can take questions now, and I see that there were a few. Trying to open up my chat. Can someone read out the question?
Yes, Michelle, there was a question about whether it's going to be available on the community of practice, and there was an answer that we will be posting the recording in this community. And then also if programs are available to have seats in both programs. And yes, Ashley responded to Tiffany Lee that yes,
Okay,
they are.
great. So it seems
And
like
that's it. No more
questions are-
questions.
Yeah, if you have any other questions regarding North Star and Essential Education digital literacy programs, then please feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my email address in the chat box right now.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you.
Lots of great information and resources there. Next, we are going to look at our new training, conferences, and statewide events, and we will be getting started with Fall Institute announcements with Beth.
Thank you, Laura. Just a heads up, if you haven't already registered for the 2022 TWC AEL Fall Institute, it is almost here, right around the corner. September 19th will be the pre-conference day. And just a reminder, those sessions are in person only, though the rest of the conference will be hybrid. So individuals can sign up to either attend in person or via Zoom. And that'll be all day on the 20th and 21st, and then a half day on the 22nd. The conference location is the Sheraton at the Capitol, Austin, though the room block is full. So if you haven't already gotten your room block, you're going to need to get online and see if you can find a state rate at a nearby hotel. We had a couple that had rooms yesterday, but they may have sold out at this time, but I'm happy to share those with you if you need them. So we will be having a half-day pre-conference for PD coordinators. It'll be 8:30 to 12 on the 19th, and we have a slide later on in our PD coordinator time where we'll talk a little bit about kind of what the agenda looks like at this point. So Lori, I don't know if you want to add anything about the Fall Institute.
Just, I'm very excited about the numbers, the people we have participating, and I just really look forward to seeing you guys.
All right. Thank you, Laura.
Yes, thank you, Beth. Ashley, I think you're next up to tell us about game night at the Fall Institute.
I'm sorry, I didn't know I was up for anything, but I'm here. I guess I forgot I agreed to do this. I'm barely here. Okay, let's see. We are doing something different this year at the Fall Institute. I am familiar with what we're doing. Krista Mosier and I are going to lead a game night on Tuesday, 6:30 to 9. There will be a $22 menu package where you can choose from chicken strips with fries and a drink, Kobe beef sliders with coleslaw and a drink, or beef or chicken quesadilla with a drink. Prices include gratuity. There is a cash bar. And we will be hosting trivia. Will be one option of things you can do, but you're also going to be able to do this. You can do it from Zoom, or you can do it in person. And I believe there's going to be other board games available as well. So that should be a lot of fun. So that's going to be at the backyard of the Sheraton Austin Hotel.
Great, thank you. That sounds like a fun time. Paula?
Yes,
We've got
ma'am.
you next with announcements about literacy symposiums.
Yes, yes, I've got a few literacy symposiums coming up in a few months. Right now, the DFW one, of course, it will be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but they don't have a location. But it'll be Friday, the 28th. And then the Gulf Coast, which is usually a Houston one, is going to be November 4th. And it's also a Friday. They usually last from 9 to 3. And then April 22nd, you've got your literacy symposium for faith affiliated programs with Literacy Connexes. They have some great information too. And then Lubbock is in the South Plains Literacy Symposium area. They usually have it at Texas Tech and the Alumni Center. It will be in Lubbock on May 19th. Anyone can come to any of the symposiums. It's wonderful when it is with via Zoom because you can join from different places, but you're invited. It has no cost for anything. You can find more information about the symposiums with that link I have at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. So you can kind of watch, and when they do decide on the location, you'll know where it is. But I encourage you to talk to your partners and affiliates for them to attend these as well. If anybody needs the PD hours, we put them in teams. Then the Literacy Texas Conference, these are the final dates. It changed by it shifted by a date. So you'll put July 31st, you come in for the exhibitor preview, and then the sessions start on August 1st and 2nd of 2023. Sounds like a long time's off.
Paula, we have a question if these are face-to-face.
They have not decided yet. October, November, and April. And the May one is face-to-face in Lubbock on May 19th. They are making decisions on October, November, and April if they will be face-to-face. And the link at the bottom hand, the left-hand corner of your screen, you go there and it'll, as they find out the location, they'll put it up on their website. Literacy Texas will. But right now it's not decided.
Thank you, Paula.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Okay. Beth, you want to tell us about the Pro Literacy Conference that's coming up?
Sure. We put this slide in for a couple of months as kind of a heads up. This national conference is coming to San Antonio, October 3rd through the 5th. If you haven't already registered, you did miss the early bird rate, but you still can register. Again, this is just a wonderful conference. I've been several times, and it's just a great opportunity to attend a national conference with some fabulous sessions here in Texas. So that's all, Laura.
Thanks, Beth. All right, we're going to take a pause. Olga, have we had any other questions or comments come in that need to be shared?
Not so far.
Okay. We will keep an eye on the chat pod. If y'all think of anything, go ahead and just put it in there. In the meantime, let's move on to our monthly webinar series. We will be talking about Manager Monday, Teacher Tuesday, Tech and Tell, and Workforce Wednesday. Let's get started. Wendy, will you want to tell us about upcoming Manager Mondays?
Sure. Hello, everybody. So the next Manager Monday will be this upcoming Monday on the 12th from noon to 1. And the topic this month is regarding the new Teams trainings that we have developed here at TCAL. And so the presenters will be Krista Mosier, Wayne Crandall, and myself. And there are 3 new trainings that we're going to talk about. We have a Teams data analysis, a Teams for Teachers, and Teams data entry. So we'll just kind of talk about what each of those training or Teams trainings entail. It is not a Teams training in itself. It's just talking about what these new trainings cover so that you all can decide if one of them would be good to bring to your program. Next slide, please. Upcoming. So after the 12th, the next one will be October 17th, and Dr. Rick Alvarado will be returning. He'll be discussing understanding ethics. And then in November, we'll have Dr. Hargrove and Lori Slayton from TWC discussing using distance learning to increase MSGs. And then finally, to wrap up this calendar year, we have December 12th, Seeking Understanding Before Taking Action. And that is Dr. Alvarado returning for the last month of this calendar year. Next slide, please. So I'm just going to put into the chat pod the remaining dates so that you have them on your calendars. And well, I was going to, but I can't copy and paste anymore from PowerPoint to Zoom. I just forgot that. I'll get it in there before the meeting is over. And just a reminder, if you have any suggestions or questions, go ahead and send them my way. And I'll put my email in the chat pod as well. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Wendy. Beth, I think you're up again.
All right. Thank you, Laura. And I'm filling in for Krista today since she's out. So Teacher Tuesday on the 13th, we're also going to talk about the new Teams trainings that are available. But of course, in this one, we're going to give it a little bit more of an instructor bent and spend a little more time talking about the Teams for Teachers updated training and what we'll be covering there. So have your teachers tune in to learn more about what's happening with that new updated training. Next slide. And then in October, Michelle, Vick, and Ashley Winkle from the Distance Education Professional Development Center are going to join us to talk with our instructors about the new free digital literacy curriculum that Michelle mentioned on an earlier slide that's now going to be available to all the AEL programs across the state of Texas. So have your instructors tune in to learn more about that. And I think that's it for me.
That sure is. Thank you, Beth. I think we have Olga, Dr. Olga Escamilla, up next with Workforce Wednesday announcements.
Thank you so much, Laura. So the upcoming this month, we're having our Workforce Wednesday on September 28th. This will be our last of a 4-part series of Career Exploration Part 4, How Do I Gain Experience, presented by Victoria Hinojosa and Jason Rodriguez, and they are with the Gulf Coast Workforce Solutions. In this session, we're going to be exploring different initiatives such as work-based learning, on-the-job training, and that are available through Workforce Solutions, and learn how to partner with these programs to give your students relevant work experience. So these are really good sessions for our career navigators. So be sure to mention these to your career navigators in your programs. We also have on October 19th, Marcela Santana, and she is with USA Hello. And her presentation is USA Hello, Find, Learn, and Thrive. In this session, she's going to present information about a wonderful resource available online. She's going to share information on how to find everything you need to know about usahello.org. And it's free online center for information and education for refugees, asylum seekers, immigrants, and welcoming communities. So learn how our students can benefit from USA Hello services and thrive with the help of these many resources available. So join us for that. Next slide. And this is just a little bit of information about the remaining dates. We have October 19th, November 16th, and December 14th. Thank you so much, Laura.
You were so fast, I couldn't find my mute button. Thank you so much, Olga. Next up, Anne Marie is going to tell us about Tech and Tells.
Good afternoon, everyone. And so what do we have coming up with Tech and Tell? This week on September 9th, tomorrow, Amber Miller from Austin Community College will be back to share her knowledge of a free digital tool called LearnHip. And LearnHip is a free website with interactive games and puzzles and activities and exercises for teaching English and other subjects online. So there's also a library of already created activities you can search through and use. So this is, I think, going to be another great webinar. She presented last week as well on Flippity. So this week, tomorrow, is LearnHip. It is from 11:30 to 12:30, just 1 hour. So next slide, Laura. And in October, we welcome back Claudette Session, and she's going to be presenting on October 21st and 28th. Again, this is just an hour. As we know, sometimes the Tech and Tells are 90 minutes, but this is going to be, we're going to stick to the hour time slot. And she's going to do a 2-part series, so part 1 and part 2, on a digital tool that I had never heard about before called WordWall. And again, this is a free digital tool that allows teachers to create custom activities for the classroom. So again, quizzes, matchups, word games, group sort, and I laughed with this one, whack-a-mole. How many of you remember whack-a-mole? So I have to say that September and October are Create Activities Month, free activities month for Tech Intel. So excited to welcome Claudette's session for October. So registration will be available soon. So next slide. And then I just want to round out this year with a couple dates. We do have dates in November 4th and November 11th. And that's kind of a surprise, but I'm really excited to share. We'll be sharing that next month. And then December 9th, Amber Miller is going to be back by popular demand for Flippity Part 2. We had several people that said, can you come back and do another Flippity Tech and Tell on all the different activities? So Amber will be rounding out the year with us on December 9th, and I'll put the dates in the chat pod. And yes, Tracy, I think WordWall does sound really interested, so I'm excited. Thank you, Laura. Oh, and I think there's one more slide, actually. All right, we appreciate all of you, so please reach out to us with ideas for our webinar series. And so I know we'll put the emails in the chat pod, and we appreciate you all for recommending presenters or wanting to share your knowledge. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you, Anne Marie. Lots of great training coming up. And next we're going to cover test trainings and TOTs with Tracy.
Thanks, Laura. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so if you go to the next slide, that's just kind of the intro slide. Lots of information there. Thank you. Okay, so I want to thank everyone who filled out the survey that we sent out in August. That we had amazing response, and it really did help us to form our plan for this year. And this is kind of our plan on the slide. We hope to do the Texas style online 11-12 TOT in the fall. I will just share with you, if your program is a TABE user, I think it was last week, a DRC had a webinar, which I've posted in the approved tests for Texas community of practice. They had a webinar, the recording is in there. They are changing their interface. Just as we're, so that means we're probably going to have to make some changes to this TOT a bit. So I've already contacted our content developer for that, and we're going to meet. But if you are a TABE user, program that uses TABE, please go to the approved tests for Texas community of practice and access that webinar and listen to it, because it's very interesting. Some things will be changing with the TABE interface. So that just kind of came up. I've known about it, but I was able to post that recording this morning in the community of practice. So I just wanted to make y'all aware. I didn't have time to make a slide. In the spring, we're going to offer the Texas style CASAS, Best Plus, and Best Literacy. CASAS is also having some revisions to their training. So Jan and Glenda, our state master trainers, are working on those revisions as we speak, and we will be updating the certified Texas style CASAS trainers on these changes probably in November at a meeting that we'll have with them. So we won't be doing a CASAS TOT until the spring, because we'll want to use the revised CASAS materials. So Best Plus and Best Literacy, we'll do those in the spring as well. So in the meantime, don't forget that if you have trainer needs for any of these things and you don't have a trainer, contact your PD specialist first. They're your first line of defense to ask them who you might contact to train for your program. And if they have questions, they'll ask me. We have a list of trainers who are willing to train outside their programs. So thank you so much for answering the survey. It really does help us. The Texas Style Online 1112 was the highest demand on the survey, and we'll do our best to bring that this fall. It depends on these changes and what we need to do to the training. So anyway, just wanted, I'll share more about that as I learn about it. And that's all I have to say about this. So thank you so much, Laura.
Great. Thank you, Tracy.
I was looking in the chat. Sorry.
No, you're good. As long as you're in there. Do we have any questions, Olga or Tracy?
Yeah, I don't.
Not so far. We don't have
Okay.
anything at the
All
chat
right.
box.
Very good. We will keep on trucking along then. Next up, we've got a couple of PD portal announcements. Katie, this
Hey
one's
there,
for you.
Laura. I'm just want to make sure that y'all can hear me since I didn't have an opportunity to test earlier.
Yep, we can hear
Okay.
you.
We have actually 2 PD portal announcements. First, we have 7 new published PD portal courses that are now in the PD portal, and you can view them by looking at the new in the PD portal carousel. So keep that in mind. 2 of them are Manager Mondays, New Career Pathways Implementation Plans, and Dealing with Tough Stuff. We have 2 Teacher Tuesdays, sorry, Responsive Instructional Design, 13 Considerations under WIOA, and Adult Education Partnerships, Leverage Your Local Library. We have 1 Workforce Wednesday, Career Exploration, Step 3. And then we have 2 Tech and Tells, Build Your Core Teaching, Part 1 and Part 2. So those all are all ready for your viewing. Keep in mind that most of these monthly webinar series are recorded and undergo post-production and are eventually put into the PD portal after 4 to 6 to 8 weeks. All right, next, just a reminder. So it's been a while since anyone has heard from me about auditing our active users. We will actually will be changing this. So we'll start doing these audits just twice a year instead of every quarter. That it just seemed it took a lot of time for everyone involved. So once at the beginning of each semester, typically September and January, that's when we'll be doing them. So Yoli Oliver, she's within TCall. She will be helping with these active user audits, and she is currently deep in them right now. She sent out an email at the end of last week and beginning of this week to each program with a report of active users. Please carefully review the list that she sent and let us know who needs to be deactivated and any other changes that need to be made in the PD portal. Step-by-step directions are included in the email that she sent you. Also, please encourage your staff to log into the PD portal to stay active. This is extremely important because we periodically deactivate users who have not logged in for a stretch of time, and that time is coming up in the next couple of weeks. If you have any questions about the audit of active users, you can email Yoli Oliver. I put her email is up on the screen and we can put it in the chat pod. Or you can email me as well. And we collaborate and communicate regularly on the reports. And of course, thank you so much for your cooperation. I know that this process takes some time for you to review everyone in your programs. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Katie. Looks like we've got some Teams announcements next. I think, Tracy, it's your turn again.
Yes. Okay. Next slide. Thank you. Okay. What I mainly wanted to tell you here is all of the Literacy Texas sessions are in Teams, but the breakfast session does not count for PD, even though this is an example of a document that was sent to a participant with the sessions that they had attended. And so breakfast is on here, that breakfast with Mahaya where she gave us the state of the state. It doesn't count for PD. So that's the main thing. Please share this with your data entry staff if you do not do the data entry for PD. And please do not add this into Teams. Okay. So just wanted to let you know that. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. think we're going to go ahead and move past this Q&A slide and move forward to PD coordinator time. Beth, are you filling in for Krista today?
I am. Why don't you go ahead and move on to the next slide? All right, a couple of things that we just want to talk to you a little bit about today is requesting trainer-led sessions. Make sure that you're filling out the program request form and working with your PD specialist to get training for your programs. And we're going to ask you to please be specific with your PDS on what type of session you want. A lot of things have changed in the last couple of years, and we have options that we didn't have before. 100% virtual, a remote instructor, an in-person trainer, or some combination. And it's important for us to know if you're going to have people in person and you're going to have people in line, that can be a curveball for the trainer if we didn't know that ahead of time. So we just need to communicate really carefully and thoughtfully with each other about kind of what you expect the training to look like. And if you need to change the type, that's fine. Just let us know as soon as possible so we can give a heads up to the trainer. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So we just wanted to kind of clarify what does all that mean. So 100% virtual means all the participants and the trainers are at their individual computers. Remote instructor is participants are in the same room. So maybe you've got a computer lab at your local program and all your teachers are there, but the trainer is getting beamed in via Zoom. In-person participants and trainers are in the same room. And part of the reason that this has come up is because we've had a couple of issues with the trainer not knowing that we have people in the room, but we're also going to have people online. And so things are a little different if from the trainer's perspective, if they need to be thinking about activities for the in-person folks as well as the people online. So that kind of hybrid training. And it is important that, especially with like a remote instructor, or if you have a combination, that we take into account what the technical requirements are, especially when it comes to computer access and audio. So if people can't hear, then obviously that's not a good training experience for the participants. So our PD specialists, we've had a talk about this, and so they're going to be asking some of those types of questions. And we can also help you kind of work through what are some of the technical requirements. You know, what does that mean? So we're more than happy to help with that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next slide. So I mentioned earlier that we were going to just kind of go over a little bit of the kind of agenda for our time together on the 19th at the Fall Institute. We're going to have some time for introductions and welcomes, not as much time as we had last year. And we are going to get an introduction to the Career Pathways PDC and the DE PDC and their staff and kind of what they're up to right now. And we're going to spend some time doing some discussion on strategies for PD planning. And I think that this is going to be a really rich discussion. And I think it's been kind of well thought out how we're going to approach it. And so looking forward to that. We're going to have a break, and then we're going to do professional development awards. So you'll get to find out if you or one of your staff have the most PD hours for the year. And we will be giving out certificates for those. We're going to talk a little bit about training of trainers. We're going to look at that testing chart, make sure everybody's clear on that and what the requirements are. We're going to talk about Teams information in the conference PD sheet, get an opportunity for PD portal updates, and of course, any questions that you might have. And we've got some new PD coordinators that are going to be joining us. So we're going to be relying on our seasoned professional development coordinators to help us with that. And then we'll finish up in evaluations. Now, if there's a topic that you feel like you really want us to cover during this session, there is still time for us to manipulate that agenda a little bit. So feel free to email me or email Krista Mosher or put it in the chat, and we'll see if we can get that covered for you. All right, next up. Just a reminder that the professional development plan for your local program for the 22-23 year is due on October 15th. So that is a deliverable for your program to TWC. And the PD specialists have been reaching out to the PD coordinators, and we will be giving you PD recommendation based on data, on your program goals, and conversations that the PDSs have had with you by September 15th. So they're working very hard on those right now. We're reviewing them, and then they will be sending them to you by the 15th. So be expecting that. And I know a lot of you have had virtual site visits and conversations about what's going on in your program. And just as a reminder, the PD specialists are there to assist. So any issues you're having completing your PD plan, questions you might have, we are here to help. All right, next slide, I believe, is Tracy.
Yep.
Right. And we just want to remind everyone in this new year about the staff qualification rules for new hires. And this comes from the TWC rules. And just the reminder that any staff or staff new to AEL or direct student service, I'm sorry, I can't read today clearly. Staff new to AEL or student services, I need to move my chat box, that's it. Student service delivery must receive at least 6 hours of PD within 30 calendar days of providing instructional activities. So these 6 hours must include 3 hours of PAL and 3 hours of literacy instruction. So just keep that in mind as you hire new staff this fall. And you can, there's plenty of courses in the PD portal that you can assign them. There are 3 hours of PAL, there are 3 hours of literacy. And if you don't know how to search for PAL or literacy courses in the PD portal, please, again, reach out to your PD specialist because there are a lot of wonderful courses in the PD portal, and there's plenty to choose from for new staff in particular, but for all your staff in general. So reach out if you have questions about needing to refine your search in the PD portal if you want something different and new. So that's all of that. Thank you.
Thank you. This next slide, Beth, are you covering this or would you like me to?
I can cover it. Just a heads up, again, we are now registering and launching the PD coordinator webinars through your transcript. So please go to the PD portal. Our next dates, these are for get us through the end of the year, October 13th, November 10th, and December 8th. So please go ahead and register. We look forward to meeting with you every month and sharing what all we have going on and getting an opportunity for you to ask us questions.
Thank you very much. The next slide says Ashley/Anne Marie. Who wants to take this one?
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm having problems unmuting. Why are we on this? I'll take it. Again, I didn't know I was on here. This is just a reminder to everybody to like us on Facebook. We are actually on LinkedIn as well, and we're soon going to be on TikTok too. But always welcome to share your program stories. Tag us when you post things, and we will reshare on our end because we love seeing all of the things you guys are doing, and we want to share it with others. I don't know if Anne Marie has anything to add to that.
no, great job.
Very good. Thank you, ladies. And next up, we just have a placeholder slide for any last minute questions or comments that y'all may have. We sure did cover a lot in the last 45 minutes. So we will give just a couple of moments to see if anyone wants to put anything in the chat pod. Or if you would prefer, you are always welcome to unmute and ask your question out loud.
Here's what I found.
Oops. Siri thought I was talking to her. Sorry, y'all.
That's funny.
While you guys are thinking, I'm going to switch to the next slide. And this is just another reminder of when our next PD coordinators webinar is. It will be on October 13th, 2022. And as Beth mentioned earlier, registration is available in the PD portal and you will launch from your transcript at that time. This PD coordinators webinar has been recorded today and it will be pulled down. Just a little bit of editing will be done to it and it will be available in the PD coordinators webinar. Oh, excuse me, the PD coordinators community of practice before the weekend begins. Olga, have we had any questions or comments come in?
Laura, no, not at this time.
Okay. Well, everybody, that is all the information. That is all the information we have to share with you today. You are welcome to roll off and go about your day. We will keep the room open for just another couple of minutes in case anyone wants to stay back and ask questions. But otherwise, y'all have a wonderful afternoon, a wonderful weekend, and we will see you soon at Fall Institute. Thanks, everyone.